Hey guys, this is Fiesta Pain. Today we're doing some spark plugs on the Fiesta ST. We're going to be using the NGK spark plugs, part number 6510, also known as the LTR7IX-11. So what we'll need for this job is, it's very simple. You'll need an 8mm socket, extension preferably, makes it a little easier, obviously, in a ratchet to take it off. You'll need a spark plug socket, a long extension. This is all using 3/8 style stuff. As you can see, I already pulled out one of my plugs. The ones I had in there before were the Denso ITV20s. When I put these ones in though, I gapped them at the OEM recommended spark plug gap. And the tune that I'm running recommends that you run these at a 0.025 to 0.026, so 25 thousandths or 26 thousandths right in there. So I've already pre-gapped the spark plugs. This here, you don't really want to use these ones because, as you can see, how small the electrode is. If you try spinning this around, you'll end up breaking a tip off. So what I used is something to kind of mush it back down, but use this as just the feeler gauge basically. So if you have feeler gauges in a different spark plug gap or tool, that's highly recommended. As you can see here, this is what your stock ignition coil looks like, and it's only held in by the two, like I said, 8mm screws and the electrical connection. I took it out just so I can check a spark plug real quick before I do the rest of the job, and I just loosened these up. So all you got to do to take these off is you just pull back the little gray tab, push it down, and then it releases it. So it's very simple. And then once you get all those out, we'll grab our extension, and all you gotta do is just back these all out. Alright, so for the last one, this little hose here, your little crank ventilation hose here, to remove it, as you can see, there's two little ribbed areas. You just give that a little squeeze, and then this should hopefully come right out, no problem. There it goes. You don't have to disconnect it all the way. You can just swivel it right out of your way. So that way you can get to the last two screws, because it goes right over this last coil, which you have to remove anyways, just to get your coil out. So we're almost there. Last one. And just like that. So just pick up all the little screws, set them right up here on the top. That way you don't lose them, you don't drop them into the cylinder head. Bad things can happen, you know, so we don't want to have bad things happening to us. So get these a little twist. You can see they just pull right out. There's nothing else holding them in place other than being kind of suctioned to the spark plug a little bit. There she goes. So again, like I said, you don't have to have these in the same exact order that you pull them out, so that's not necessary, which is kind of convenient, I guess we'll say, right? So make sure you're on there nice and firmly. Make sure your ratchet's in the right direction, so that way you're going counterclockwise. So you break it free, you can pop the ratchet right off, and you can just use your hand just to kind of spin, you know, the extension to get your spark plugs right out of there. There's a lot of thread, so they sometimes take a moment to finally get them all unthreaded. And once you unthread it, you just pull it right out. You know, make sure you have a good quality spark plug socket, either magnetic, or if you have an older style one where it's using rubber, make sure the rubber is still in good shape. 2 down, 2 to go. Kind of a nice thing having only a 4-cylinder. You only got 4 spark plugs, you got 4 coils. Even with these spark plugs costing $10 a piece, you know, it's only 40 bucks. If you had an 8-cylinder, that'd be $80. So good thing we don't have anything like that, right? So I'm just gonna, I don't want to loosen that one up. I'm gonna go right to the next one. I'm gonna have to clean that debris out of there too. It looks like somebody was getting some shit up in there. There we go. So now they're both broke free. I'll just take it up a hand. So far, at least looking at the other two, you're seeing light tan, a little bit of black just around the thread area, but that's just a little bit of carbon buildup. That's going to be normal, but that's a nice tan on the electrode. So that's a good sign. It means that we're running on cue, especially with this stratified E85 blend tune that I'm running. It means that we're not running too rich, we're not running too lean. We're right in that comfy zone. So, and another one down, same thing, nice and tan on the electrode. That's exactly what we want. Put that over there. And one more to retrieve. So that was very simple. I just figured I'd shoot a video just because I've done it already, but maybe some people don't know, or maybe they're afraid. Making sure that you do this when the engine's cool. These are aluminum heads, and doing this while it's hot could potentially damage the threads, and nobody wants that going on. It's no fun, right? So NECs is optional. NGK, their coding tells you that it's not necessary to put any NECs on, but last time I did anyways, because these were Denzos, and I didn't read up on Denso at all really, so I don't know if I necessarily recommend it or not. But a lot of coatings on the spark plug coating itself is better than what it used to be. So that's optional. I did use some dielectric grease on the tips there where the ignition coil will make contact. Optional, but you could buy a little packet of it for like $1.50 at the auto parts store. So you only need just a little bit. Here's the new spark plugs. As you can kind of see, like I was saying, that the tip is very fine because these are a radium tip, and these are gapped, like I said, to about 26 thousandths. I did gap these specifically to 25 thousandths, like right on the nose, or at least as close as I can humanly possibly get it. Alright, so now that it's seated in all the way, you don't want to give this very much of a turn, because these ones don't have any gasket. As you can kind of see right here, we're giving it about approximately maybe a 1/16 of a turn. We're not giving it very much. In fact, actually, if you read the box right there, if you pry against the electrode, you're going to break it. So, no bueno, don't do that. So we get it down all the way, so we're giving it just a little bit of a snug. So that was about a 1/16 of a turn. It doesn't look like much, but really it's more than enough to seat it in all the way. By the way, doing this with two hands will make it a lot easier, but you guys got to see how it's done. So now we're seated. About 1/16 of a turn. Alright, so this one's already at that point, so give that a little bit 1/16 of a turn. You're basically just kind of snugging it up. You don't want to do it too hard because, again, aluminum will break, and you don't want that happening right now. So there we are, we're snug, and 1/16 of a turn. All plugs are done. Now all you gotta do is just start plopping in your ignition coils. Get you out of the way a little bit there, buddy. So make sure she finds the right location. Push it down. You can see it's sitting kind of flush. It's just about there. So that means we're in the right spot for it. Obviously it won't seat that far down if you get it in the wrong spot. Out of the way, connector. Same thing. Push her down. Give her a little jiggle. Last one. Look at that, we're speeding right along. Awesome. So now they're all in. All I got to do is just start these a little bit. No power tools, just so you guys know. You don't want to use power tools. This stuff is very small. It could break anything. So hand tools only. This job should only really take like 10 minutes. I guess we'll say it's nothing. the convenience of having the spark plugs right on the top, right underneath an ignition coil like this is the best. The coils will cost down the road if you need to replace them, but or if you upgrade them, whatever you want to do. You see how easy it is to change plugs. Coils will come right out anyway. So now that that's done, they're all started. So we'll grab our little thing here and zip it down. Same thing, hand tight. Alright, so now they're all set. We'll change our ratchet into the correct position. And same thing, you're only giving these a little snug. So snug, snug. Just like that. Simple as this, you know, it's as simple as lining it up, pushing it in place, clicking it. And then last but not least, is line it back up, push it right in place, everything is nice and firm. You're done. You can put your cover back on after you get it lined up. I usually like to line up that last one in the back corner. That kind of sets the tone for everybody else to get it right in place. Just like that. Ta-da! So now that we're done, I'll reset the tune. I will take it for a little ride and see if I gain anything out of it. Who knows if I gain much or any, whatever. These are one-step Kohler step plugs. So like I said, LTR7IX-11, stock number 6510. So about $10 a piece. Thanks for watching, guys.